What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. That is Mike Fuji. I am Al Norfleet, and together we are at the 50 with Fuji and Fleet. And today's show is a special show. If you must be living on a rock if you don't know what this show is about. But it's Super
Amen.
Bowl weekend, right, Mike?
Yes, sir. 48 hours away to kick off Mission 59. Let's get this party started. How you doing, Al?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Before we start to talk about the game itself, I don't know if you watched NFL Honors last night, but I did. And there's a few things I wanted to start out talking about it. And first and foremost is our running back, Saquon Barkley, won Offensive Player of the Year. How do
Yes,
you
sir.
feel about that?
Well, couldn't have gone to a better player. I mean, I think, I say Saquon, in my opinion, in our opinion, the undisputed MVP of the NFL. This man is, him and he rejuvenated the running back position, him and Derrick Henry. But congratulations to Saquon. I still say he's the undisputed MVP.
Absolutely. I was
Excuse me.
looking at also the MVP voting, and it's a shame that he only got one vote. But we
Right.
pretty much know where that was going at between Lamar and Josh Allen, which Josh actually won it. Now today on just about every show you can possibly think about today, they was discussing that between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And so I ask you your opinion. Do you think the MVP went to the right player?
I mean, as far as between Lamar,
Yeah.
Saquon, and Josh Allen,
No, just Lamar and Josh Allen.
well, I mean, Lamar's won it twice. I mean, Josh Allen to me, not to take nothing away from Buffalo, but
Mm-hmm.
without Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills probably aren't even a 500 team. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess you got to give it credit where it's due. Myself, I probably would have given it to Lamar over Josh Allen, but I honestly I think the running back position, like we said, is revitalized now between Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, just to name a few. But I'll be a homer. I'd say Saquon Barkley. He had over 2,000 yards. He's 30 yards away, ready, about to break Terrell Davis's regular season and postseason record back
Mm-hmm.
in 1998. But I know that probably wasn't the question, but just I mean,
One of the reason I asked that because another thing they was talking about today, and I agree with a lot of the things that they were saying. Well, I don't have any problem with Josh Allen winning it
right,
because he played MVP type of ball, and especially with a team that really it's not a whole lot around him.
right,
But one of the arguments today on television, ESPN, is that he did not make All Pro, whereas Lamar did,
hmm
but yet he won the MVP. And so that was a big argument all day long. But either one of them, if Lamar had won it, to me that would have been great. Josh won it. That was great because they both played MVP ball.
right.
Now let's move on a little bit. I'm jumping around here a little bit, but you mentioned offline. about Eric Allen. Now, Eric Allen was a cornerback for us back in the, I guess, 80s and the 90s. And he finally made the Hall of Fame this go around.
Yes, finally.
So I know you watch him back in the day. I don't know if I was in this area or not, but what type of player did you see Eric Allen to be?
Just the physical. He was, number one corner. I mean, number one pick. Buddy Ryan. I want to say it was probably 1986 or 87. Jerome. Well, I know he was the number one pick. I can't recall the year, but physical corner, a ball hawk. Buddy had that eye for talent. He built that defense. Started up front. He had the line, Seth Joyner, Byron Evans. Secondary, which Buddy came already had Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters already here, but Eric Allen. He played. I believe he played till 1994. But, the Eagles tried to re-sign him, when Jeff Lurie bought the team, but apparently he didn't want to stay here. He went to the Saints, had a few Pro Bowl years there too. I believe he played there too with Mark McMillan, Mighty Mouse.
Right.
And then so I think he played in the Super Bowl. I want to say he did under John Gruden, or no. John Gruden brought him to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was on that losing Raiders team when Tampa Bay beat them in 2002, I believe.
Okay.
I believe that. But, just a phenomenal corner, probably definitely one of the best corners in Eagles history. Without a doubt, he's been on the ballot probably for 7-8 years. I know Deion Sanders was lobbying to get him in the Hall of Fame, and hey, his ticket got punched, so he'll be going in the Hall of Fame come next August. And hey, if you remember, Brian Dawkins got in 2018. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, so hopefully history's Dawkins wearing 20. Of course, I got Eric Allen on the night, so hopefully history's going to repeat itself right there. So,
but believe it or not, I have that down here that we was going to cover that because I got quite a few things that I won't say superstitious, but things that happens. Like for instance, Jalen Hurts lost to Patrick, and the last quarterback to lose a Super Bowl and to come back later on and win a Super Bowl was John Elway.
right.
And when he did it the year that they had a 2,000-yard back in Terrell Davis.
Yes, sir.
And so here we go now. Jalen Hurts once again against Patrick Mahomes. Hopefully, and he has a 2,000-yard back, so hopefully that is something that will also repeat itself.
And again, and Saquon Barkley 30 yards away, so he's going to punch that come 48 hours from now, and hey, it'll be bittersweet.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Just history. We're coming full circle here.
Yeah. Now there's another entry into the Hall of Fame I want to talk about briefly, and that is Sterling Sharpe.
Oh, yes.
Now this is the first time in history that two brothers will be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do because you're football knowledgeable. But when Shannon Sharpe went in and doing his speech,
right,
he said it was hard for him to believe that he made the Hall of Fame when he is the second best player in his family.
Right.
And he urged the powers to be, said, next time you vote, just look at his number. I'm not asking you to put him in. Look at his numbers. And apparently it happened. So they will be the first brothers into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And we know that there's going to be another set of brothers soon, but just not this year.
Right. Well, saw the video. First of all, we got a comment coming in. My friend Tom Fogarty tuning in and said, "Hey guys, go Birds." Thanks for checking in, Tom. I saw the replay today when Sterling Sharp went to Shannon's house, and I believe his wife, Sterling's wife, let him in. He went downstairs, and Sterling was waiting, and Shannon said, "You made it." Greeted him with a big hug. So, really, yeah, I remember Shannon Sharp. His career was cut short. Played with the Green Bay Packers early 90s. I think he only played, no more than maybe 5-6 years at that. He had to retire. He was forced to retire because he had some type of stinger in his neck near the vertebrae, and it really messed him up.
Right.
Had to, his career was cut short, but he had some phenomenal numbers with Don Mikowski, Brett Favre getting traded from the Atlanta Falcons in 1992 to Green Bay, and those guys were just phenomenal together.
Yeah,
but it's like you said, it's a shame. Shannon's career, Sterling. I don't know why. You see Shannon all up, but Sterling. He retired. I know he was with ESPN with Chris Berman and Tom Jackson for a while. Great commentator, but I know he did the speech when Shannon went in the Hall of Fame. But
yeah.
But congratulations, another class act, Sterling Sharp. Well deserved.
Absolutely. Now, what are your thoughts about Eli not making it in the first ballot?
I know. I'll give credit where it's due, but he won. Besides our Nick Foles, he beat Tom Brady twice. But some plays, David Tyree with that catch, and forget the other receiver that made that catch in the second time. The Giants beat the Patriots, but
wasn't the guy that shot himself one time. What was his name?
Plexico Barris. Nah, it wasn't him. Nah, okay. I can't think of the gentleman's name, but Mario Manningham.
Okay.
He was the one that made that catch out of bounds in the second go around when the Giants beat the Patriots. Am I shocked Eli didn't make it? Not really. I mean, I don't really know his numbers offhand, but I know he won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. Give credit where it's due, but I just don't. In a way, I just don't see Eli Manning as a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Well, most of the arguments on that today, everybody agrees that he is a Hall of Famer, but just not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I could see that.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, do you by any chance know the difference or the significance between a first ballot Hall of Famer and going in outside of the first ballot?
Can't really say I do per se. I mean, first ballot, would be. If you were to take a first ballot Hall of Famer today, I guess. I know he's still young. I guess I guess you would have to say Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yeah,
I think
Patrick
would
Brady it's a lot of them.
right,
The what they were saying today that they have a group of people that do the voting, right?
right.
And they were saying that when you're sitting down at that round table, or however you're doing your voting,
Hmm.
and someone says, "What about Eli Manning?" If all hands don't go up saying he's good, well then he's not a first ballot. But he's
Okay.
still everybody know he's going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So apparently, according to what they were saying, a first ballot is when everybody's sitting at that round table and a
Mhm.
name come up, every hand go up automatically.
Well,
And so I guess that's the difference between a first ballot and just going in outside of your first ballot. There's no arguments whatsoever. He's good enough. He's going in. So that's what I
well,
took out of it there.
that's the thing too. It's Eric Allen has been on the Hall of Fame ballot for probably 5, 6, 7 years, and I think once I guess they bring new guys up every year for eligibility, but they said this might have been his last go around of not getting back on the ballot for a while from
Right,
what
right.
I was hearing. But luckily, the stars aligned and EA got in, and he's representing the Eagles organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to the induction ceremony,
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot of green jerseys out there. You know.
Yes, sir. I mean, I was fortunate in 2018 to go out to Brian Dawkins Hall of Fame induction,
Hmm.
which was a phenomenal time. Some big names on that ballot. That class:
Yeah,
Ray Lewis, T.O., Randy Moss,
yeah,
just
yeah.
just to name a few.
That organization, the Hall of Fame organization,
Hmm.
is extremely first class organization. Um, I had the fortune to be out there with the Eagles the last time that they played in the Hall of Fame game. Actually, I was out there. I took the cheerleaders there, and that whole weekend. I mean, these guys. This was back in the days when I was working out real heavy,
Right.
and they had a gym there that the cheerleaders used to do their practice and all of their routines and everything. And they closed that gym down for 4 hours just so I can go in there and get a workout. I
Wow.
mean, they put signs on the door, gym is closed, gym is closed.
That
And
was
when I
nice.
told them I was done, they opened the gym back up.
Wow.
I mean, that was so
Um,
unique for me. And then, Canton is not a huge, huge city.
nah, very small town.
Yeah. And when they have the parade, they had the parade through the city, man, and
Right.
that was a unique experience for me, man. That's something I would never forget.
I want to. I want to say. I don't know if you remember, but I want to say I think the Eagles played out there. Either I know. I believe they. If I remember correctly, I think they played the Raiders, and I want to say it was around 2005 or 2006. But I'm not.
uh no, it wasn't the Raiders.
Nah.
It may have been the Broncos. I can't be too sure, but the reason I say that because we had their GM at the time was used to be the GM here, Tom. His name was Tom, and
Tom
no,
Hackert.
yeah, Tom Hacker. I'm wrong. This was the Super Bowl I'm thinking about because when the Super Bowl was in New York, I had the Denver Broncos, and Tom was the GM of the Denver Broncos, and he saw me, and we sat down and had a long conversation, waiting on the players to get on the bus to go over to MetLife Stadium. So that's why that was. But like I said, I do know whoever the team that they was playing, I had them here in Philly during the regular season.
Okay.
And I remember it clearly because the guy seen me. So, Big Al, you're here. I said, yeah. So here again, him and we sat down and had a long conversation, but I just can't remember what team it was. But it was '04 or '05, one of those two.
There you go. Just
Yeah.
looked it up.
Yeah.
Raiders defeated the Eagles 16-10 Sunday, August 6, 2006.
Okay. Okay. And
Was
then I
it?
was down there again. This was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even 6 now. The Atlanta Braves had asked me and my crew to go down there and take care of them when they was there. So we did what we call a deadhead, drove 6 empty buses to Cleveland, picked them up at the airport, and then took them to Canton and spent the whole weekend with them down there. So that was,
Oh, okay.
I've had a lot of fun down at the Hall of Fame facilities.
Very nice. I mean, it's just fortunate, to go out there, after winning the Super Bowl and seeing Brian Dawkins get inducted. It was just to see it green. And, if anybody out here, everybody watching, get a chance, go check that out. Put that on your bucket list because, you go around, you see all the busts, the history of the NF, the different players, and just phenomenal out there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, so much for NFL honors. So now let's get into talking about the upcoming game between our Philadelphia Eagles and not our Kansas City Chiefs. I say that because I have somewhat of a interest in Kansas City as well because of Coach Andy Reid, the trainer Rick Burkholder, and the defensive coordinator Spaz. We was together for quite a few years when they was here with Philadelphia. But my love was for the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's not get it twisted now.
Before we get in the game, let me just ask you a couple questions of history. I mean, you've been with the Eagles for what, going on 26 years?
Yeah.
I was fortunate to meet Andy Reid one night at Chicky and Pizza at his old show.
Mm-hmm.
Actually it was a game when the Eagles beat the Giants back in 2009 up the Meadowlands, where him and Deshaun Jackson did the chest bump on the sideline. And Andy's, I had my football, my Sharpie, went up to him during the commercial, talked to him for a couple minutes, just real down to earth man, for the 2 minutes that we chatted, but very personable. And, I always heard Andy behind the scenes is just funny, not what you saw in the press conferences here, like just how, just how down to earth Andy Reid is. And let me stop chatting, but let me ask you, like, between him, Spags, and Rick Burkholder, can you get into that about those 3 gentlemen a little bit?
Yeah. Let's start off with Andy. Just like you said, very down to earth gentleman. When it comes to football, very detailed. Players love playing for him. But as a human being, very, very down to earth. There was a time when I just came from the dentist and we were doing something with him. And, back then we always went to the lunchroom. We sat down, we ate.
Mm-hmm.
And he seen my jaw swole. He said, "What's wrong, Big Al?" I told him. He said, "Come on." He went in the kitchen, told the chef, fix him some soup, told him what type of soup to fix him.
Really? Mm,
That's the kind of person he was.
wow.
Now, when his son died, I went to the funeral, and during the receiving line, I waited my time, went up there, and Coach, my condolences, sorry about your loss. And he looked at me, he said, yeah, I'm sorry about your loss. I had lost a daughter in '96, 14-year-old daughter. And I said, well, appreciate it, Coach, but I'm here for you. That's been years ago. He said, yeah, I know, but you still lost somebody. So I know you know how I feel. So him and his wife both was very good people, very personal
Right.
people. I remember one year we was up playing the Giants, and my wife had came up, and so naturally we out in the hallway, and Tammy is his wife.
Right.
So Tammy came up along with Bag wife and Rick wife, telling my oh, we love Big Al so much. So they were good, down to earth people. Rick is on my Facebook. We speak here and there. Always when something goes on, tell them congratulations, things of that nature.
Right.
And I would tell Coach, I said good luck or this and that, and the same with Spag. And so the last time they was here, as soon as they got off the plane, all three of them came over to me, hugging and dapping everything. Everybody looking at me and said, "How you know these people?" I said, "Man, this is family, man."
Wow. That's great. No, it's not to interrupt you. I mean, I think it's just, like like you have your own show, inside sports from the driver's seat, and just, you hear just, everybody talks as X's and O's all the time, but, that's kind of like why I like to ask you and, for the
Hmm.
audience, just different stories like over the years, you've been with the Eagles organization, just interacting with, these, Andy and Rick and Coach Spags. But, it's just great to get like some insight news on like, stuff behind the scenes. It's
Yeah, yeah.
always not just like the football,
Hmm.
like I said, the X's and O's, but just your stories of interacting with, players over the years, the coaches, Mr. Lurie, Howie, just the whole,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
always great, just to, put that in the show because, you're right there in the trenches and, it's just great. They respect you, they love you and vice versa
Yeah,
on your end.
absolutely.
And it's great to hear different
Yeah, yeah.
stories.
Yeah, I remember. I think who was the team that was in a couple of seasons ago? It was Miami Dolphins during the preseason,
Mhm.
and I would take my family out to training camp. They would give me tickets, you
Right.
know, training camp, and so I was out there, and Big Dom was talking to my wife, and heard him whisper something to her, and so I just kept, doing what I was doing. Next thing I know, here comes Don Saminsky come over and said, "Yo, Big Al said we're gonna need for you to sing the national anthem for us one of the games." And so I turned around and looked. That's what Big Don was telling my wife. So they're gonna ask Al to sing.
Right.
And so, like I said, that was training camp, and
Right.
then I think it was the last preseason game when Miami was here because they was here for a few days practicing,
Hmm.
and then I had them for 2 days, and the third day I said, "Well, I'm not with y'all tomorrow." He said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm in the stadium because I got to sing the national anthem, and I don't need any other duties. I got to be there at a certain time." They said, "Okay." So,
Hmm.
but little things like that, that I enjoy. I've always enjoyed singing.
Right.
But when the president comes up and asks you to sing for the team, I said, "Okay, no problem." I mean, it's not the first time. That's why I'm an Eagles fan because back in 1987, was the first time that I sang the national anthem for the Eagles, and ever since then I have been a fan. And little did I know, several years later, that I
Right.
would become their team driver for going on 26 years now. So it's
Nice.
been a relationship. It's been an adventure, and I've enjoyed every single moment of it.
Hey, say it's one hell of a resume. I
Yes,
mean,
sir. Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I'll say this. I know not just myself, but just to witness all that, just the interactions and relationships, and especially how everybody remembers you over the years, and it's just you know, as you said, it's family, and I just think it's pretty amazing. Like just the hey, believe me, if I could trade places with you for a day, hey, why not? I mean,
I
that's
hear
just,
you.
I
Yes, I
mean,
mean it's
just to
fun, man.
be,
It's fun.
just to be a part of that. You were in the parade in 28, 17, 18. You took the picture with Jeff Lurie holding up the Lombardi Trophy, and that's a, I know it's right behind you there
Yeah,
on
yeah,
your wall.
absolutely.
So not to interrupt, Tom Fogarty checking in again, saying Eagles 30, Chiefs 27.
Absolutely. Thanks for checking in, Thomas. But yeah, it's been an adventure, and not only now, but I mean, like a couple of games ago, there
Right.
was something going on, and a lot of the old players coming in. I'm sitting in the bus, and here come this black SUV coming in, and all of a sudden, it hit brakes real hard, and out comes Brian Dawkins. He
Really?
comes, yo, man, I seen you. I had to stop and come and say hi to you, man. I said, stuff like that, it may not mean a lot to some people, but to me,
Hey, that's
Brian Dawkins, a player, a
right.
Hall of Fame player,
Right.
stops and say, well, I just want to come say hello to you, man. Give me a hug and stuff. And same thing with Jeremiah Trotter.
Right.
And I even told Trotter, I said, man, at the beginning of the season, I told your son, I said, man, I remember when you was like 2 years old, because his mother would always, whenever she saw us drivers,
Mm-hmm.
she was come and talk to each one of us. She don't say, how you guys doing? She'd
Right.
come with a, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing, man? And the whole family was a great family. So I told Junior, I said, yeah, man, I remember when you were like 2 and 3 years old, man. I said, that's how long I've been here. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, matter of fact, somebody, not to interrupt you, somebody posted like one of their real clips. I guess when the Eagles won the NFC Championship game against Atlanta in 2004-2005 season. Trotter Jr. being older with with Jeremiah Sr.
Yeah, yeah. In
and
his
then
arm.
Jeremiah, yeah, holding them, with the his hat and glove. I mean, hat and his heavy coat on, holding him
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
baby. So
Yeah, even Mrs. McNabb, again, she's on my Facebook. We chit chat here and there, once in a while, and so it just I've met so many people,
right,
and it all started with a young lady named Tracy Lennon, and she was a traveling secretary for the Eagles back then, and we formed a very good relationship to this day. We're good friends, and I met so many people through her.
right.
So I enjoy every minute. And that's probably why I don't want to quit working, because I won't be around the game like I am there.
I mean, it's amazing. Like when I interviewed you. When I interviewed you on my other show at the time. This
Right.
is how we got this started, and you. I remember Dylan played the YouTube clip of you being in the Chunky Soup commercial with,
Yeah.
Donovan, Mrs. McNabb, Trey Thomas,
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
West, and just, it's just great stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
Uh,
just Go.
Okay, I was gonna say, let's get into the game coming up. We've got Steve Spagnola versus Kevin Moore. Talk about that for me.
Well, I just think on both sides of the ball between Kellen Moore going up against Spags, Andy Reid going up against Vic Fangio. I think this is going to be one hell of a chess match. And I mean, Kellen Moore going up against Spags, and Spags winning 3 or 4 Super Bowls. He was basically the architect who beat New England when he was with the Giants under
Right,
Tom
yeah.
Coughlin, and but where did he get it from? Spags, a disciple of Jim Johnson,
Yeah, yeah.
basically laying the blueprint on how to beat Tom Brady in New England, especially that undefeated season. But it's going to be a couple tacticians. Just we know Andy. We all know Andy very well, and it's going to be interesting to see how Vic Fangio gets this defense going, because the Eagles Super Bowl 57 led the league. I know they broke records with close to 70 plus sacks, and they couldn't even get to Mahomes once. Now, I think the key of it is you're going to have to get to Mahomes.
Mhm.
You're going to have to get Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis. Like you're just going to have to get in that backfield. And I think one of the keys to winning the Super Bowl is just getting to Mahomes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully the refs won't be flag happy, and we could go down that avenue. But
Yeah, let's
but
not do that.
you just you got to get physical with Mahomes, and
Yeah.
hopefully
I think we have the horses to do it now.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's not forget Brandon Graham. Coming back. I mean, just being courageous. I think it came out today that win, lose, or draw. I think he's going to hang it up after this, but
Yeah, yeah.
he says that now. But I think I think he's got one more round in him. But if you win it, go out in style. Just. But
I don't really think so, and I say this from knowing a little bit of him.
Mm-hmm.
He gave his all. He gave everything he had, and that's why he made that decision to go out this year.
Right.
But I think if he didn't have the opportunity to come back in this game, that would have altered his decision.
Right.
But being that he has that opportunity to come back, I think he's going to come back and give it his all and say, well, I gave it everything I had.
Right.
And I don't know if I'd say I would want to see him back, simply for the reason you're on top right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go out with a bang. Win, lose. Well, I can't say draw, because there is no such thing as a draw in the Super Bowl. But as long as you give it your all out there, and you've had a great career, don't stay around longer than you need to, have bad play next year. And and when he first got here, there was a problem, but they was dogging the one to run him out of town, but he survived that and turned out to be very productive, a great leader, and a really fantastic human being. And so I would like to see him go out on top. Like I said, win or lose, you got a good frame of mind. You had a great year, a better year than what most people your age would have had. And so I would like to see him go out on his own turn.
Agreed.
And go out a winner. That's what I would love to see. I'm still gonna try to get him on here, especially when he do go out.
Right.
I'll be talking. I'm gonna be in his ear when they come back Monday.
Right. Yeah, but back to the game, I just think you got to get them homes. I mean, even go back to Super Bowl 52, 1 sack in that whole game. That was BG. Not stripping that ball loose of Brady and Derek Barnett recovering it. I mean, definitely one of the best Eagles plays in history. But you just got to get the Mahomes, and Kelsey's another one. I mean, all right, Kelsey isn't what he was a couple years ago, but Kelsey steps up in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the guy's money. He's he's got that fire, that drive in him, and not to take nothing away, but everybody talks about the Eagles' offense being high powered. I mean, you got some, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt's been basically carrying that running game basically the whole year after they picked them up, and you got some Rashee Rice, you got Nate. Well, Juju hasn't really done much, but you got Hollywood Brown, and you got a couple other guys on that offense that anybody can get open, but it's going to be a big test for Zach Bond. Playing linebacker to secondary, we should match up well, but I think the key is to shutting that offense down. You got to get the Mahomes. You just
and the thing about that, this year, our guys are younger.
Right.
They're faster than a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
Look at number 3 there,
Nolan Smith. He's playing
much better.
Oh yeah.
Carter, younger, faster, stronger. The last game, the Washington game, the championship game, I've seen some plays from Davis that I hadn't seen before, so.
This is probably one of Jordan Davis's better games of his career.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell.
So we've gotten younger, we've gotten better, we've gotten faster, and I believe we've gotten stronger. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's Patrick Mahomes. Also, this is the Eagles defense too. You can't count them out. So it's going to be a great game. I really believe that. But like you said, they got to put pressure on Mahomes, and they can't lose sight, because once he pass you, if you over pursue, he's gone. But the way he scrambles around back there, and you keep your eyes up, and he pass you, he may come right back to you.
Well, I mean, you got to give him credit where it's due. I mean, you got to play smart and mistake-free 60 minutes of football.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't slip up, because one move, whether he switches his hands and does all that trickery or razzle dazzle
in between his legs.
He can beat you. He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his legs. But it's just, I don't. Fangio has his work cut out. I know he's 0-8 against, or Mahomes is 8-0 against Fangio. But you can throw all that out the window. I think on that side, the defensive side of football, you're just going to have to get penetration and play mistake-free football. Do what they did in the championship game, knock the ball loose. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. We're talking about our defense. Now, do you think they will be able to slow Saquon? I don't think they can stop him, but you think they'd be able to slow him down a bit?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think that defense has seen a running back like Saquon Barkley all year. And once you get his motor going, those guys up front, that run offense loves to just mix it up. And I think Saquon will just say to Jalen, give me the damn ball, and just bull rush him, run rough shot. I think you just wear that defense down by running Saquon. I mean, I know Kenny Gainwell wasn't concussion protocol, but Even get Will Shipley out there to,
Yeah.
give Barkley,
A breather here and there.
But I think if you get Saquon in that running game going, you're just going to wear that defense down. And the only my main concern is, Cam Jurgens coming off that back injury. He stepped in when Landon Dickerson went off for a couple of series, and hopefully Cam Jurgens is all right.
Right.
Landon Dickerson, the warrior that he is as well, limping off on a sideline, but hopefully that, between the middle, the anchor of the line, and the left guard position where Landon Dickerson, hopefully those guys will be able to just step it up, because you're going up against Chris Jones, and who's a beast on that defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. So
right.
Hopefully they'll just be able to get, mix it up in the trenches and get that running game, the run rough shot. But then Goddard's been hot. You got to get Jalen going with this passing game too. Like, you don't want to wear Barkley down early. I mean, I just think you're going to have to just have the run set up the pass, or vice versa.
Right.
I mean, Jalen, hey, without Barkley, without Jalen under center, it's that dual threat with Jalen and Barkley.
Yeah.
Jalen's going to beat you with his arm, or he's going to beat with his legs. So
now, since you're on Jalen, your opinion. What kind of game do you think he must have in order for us to be victorious?
Well, just like kind of basically what I said about the defense. You got to play mistake and smart football, mistake free. Like, you can't turn the ball over. Jalen hasn't turned the ball over. He's gotten better with it. I just think, he's got to get in a rhythm. Whether you get Goddard, get that tight end, get the tight ends involved in it, get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You just got to play mistake-free football and, get the jitters out early. I think the Eagles got to come out and just score. I mean, I don't think you really want to get in a shootout with Mahomes, but you can't take your foot off the gas at all.
Right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Jake Elliott has been shaky at times, and you got to score points. You can't leave points on the field,
and you can't let it be a close game.
Right. You gotta come out like they did in Washington and cause turnovers.
Yeah.
It's,
well, at least we know.
I don't think you could slip up at least one time. You got to play perfection, 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Smart football and no mistake free.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play a game like you never played it. You played your ass off like you never played in a Super Bowl before.
And, like you say, once the running game, if they can establish that, get a good rhythm with the running game.
Right.
That's going to help open up Devontae, AJ, and Goddard.
Right.
But without that, then you become one-dimensional, and that is not good for us. But I cannot remember too many games this year where they had let that happen. I mean, there have been games where the passing was not high or the numbers weren't good, but they made enough to keep them honest. And with Saquon running the way he was, they made enough passes to make everything work. And so I don't look for them to change their offense completely, because that would be very dumb to do that, to do something for 17, 18, 19 games, and all of a sudden, because it's the Super Bowl, now you want to change up all of a sudden. But they're too smart for that. I know Sirianni too smart for that. But I'm sure they're gonna have wrinkles here and there, and same thing with Kansas City. They're gonna have
All right.
wrinkles in there. As coaches, you have to have those players prepared for anything and everything at all times.
Exactly. Well, I think, as you said, I mean, people can criticize Jalen with his numbers, but Mahomes had the same numbers. Josh Allen had the same
Yes,
numbers.
yes.
What got you here was your running game and the number one defense. And
Hmm.
what did they always say won Super Bowls?
Defense
Running
wins
game
championship.
and a running game. So,
Hmm.
like I said, the running game has been revitalized, rejuvenated, whatever word you want to use.
Reinvented.
Right. Just hey, that's what got us here. If it ain't broke, why fix it now?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean,
Now,
you ran
right.
roughshod over Washington, and you're here.
Yeah,
Here we are.
absolutely. Wouldn't it be absolutely wonderful if they could have the type of outcome they had for Wash? I mean, just like to blow them the hell out of the waters.
Just blow their doors off. Send them
Yeah,
packing. Send them packing early. Let them sulk on the sidelines.
yeah,
Just run roughshod. Because honestly, I think it's going to come down to two guys either being co MVPs or just one. I think it's either going to be Jalen or it's going to be Saquon.
Well, now, let me throw something else at you. There is a high, well, I won't say high, but there's a 50-50 probability that another Jalen could be MVP too.
Well, hey, wreak havoc on right up the middle,
Absolutely. Let's
and I'm
say
sure.
3.5 sacks and a lot of disruptions. I can see that happening, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the modern day Jerome Brown, and
Yes.
I know Jalen Carter. Rumors, not rumors, but word out there is, he's had the flu, a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
of sickness going around the team, but as we said, he'll be given IVs, fluids. I don't think, I think he'll just wave off that sickness, go out and play a dominating game right in that middle of that defensive line and create havoc.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like both coaching staff has been around long enough to know what's going on, what is happening, and we're going to have something for them. They're going to have something for us.
Mm.
And again, like I was saying, you got to be prepared for everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, I think it's the will and the heart to win it. Because I just finished him. I wouldn't mind seeing a blowout, but I doubt if it's going to be that,
I think
especially with Patrick. But I think it's going to be the will to survive, the will to win. And that's why it cannot be a close game in the fourth quarter. It cannot be a close game.
it's just going to be an old knockdown, drag out Philly street fight, a heavyweight fight. It's two heavyweights. Everybody talks about this dynasty nonsense, but I don't. I think the Eagles are dialed in. I mean, let me ask you. Before we came on the air, but what you being around the team, I guess the last week plus. I mean, what was the body language? Are they just laid back? Or they, you
It
know,
was it was all good. It was all good. I mean,
yeah,
you can't really look at a person 5 minutes walking on the bus or walking off the bus
right.
and tell whether or not, oh, this guy looks super tense. A lot of time you can tell when they get up there jolly and all loose and everything, but for the most part, like I always say, you know, they keep it business like, they keep it professional like.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago, when because we was going to practice over at the NovaCare a few days, And there you can see a little bit more because they're getting off the bus, they're joking around with each other, and they go into practice and they come out, they talking trash to each other.
Right.
But that's a little bit different than just getting on the bus, going to the plane, because it's a business atmosphere
Mm,
when they're getting off the bus, on the bus, getting on the plane, getting off the plane. But going to practice is a little bit more time out there, and you see a little bit more of cohesiveness from the guys, a
right.
little bit more joking around and stuff of that nature. And I seen a thing today where CJGJ, he had went out and got a couple of players their high school jerseys with their name on it,
Really.
and when he presented it to him, they guess, oh man, where you get this from? He said, this is for you. And little bitty things like that help bring a team closer.
Right.
It helps them when they're out there, they're hurting and they're injury, they stay out a little bit longer, to hold off as long as they can to help their brother in the foxhole beside him. So
Right.
all that plays a big role in how a team comes together,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in this situation, you have a few people that has been to the Super Bowl. You have a few people that has been through Radio Row,
Right.
that has been through this thing, this whole week of having media after media after media after media asking you stuff that got nothing to do with football.
Right.
There was one guy yesterday said he asked Brandon Graham 3 questions, all in different languages,
Wow.
And
Right.
so, but you have guys on the team that can help guide these younger players through this.
Right.
Luckily, I think yesterday was the last day of media day.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a full, I think, 2 hour hard practice yesterday. Ease up a little bit more today.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, I'm sure just going to be the regular
Walk
walkthrough.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of film stuff in there. So I think they're ready. I think they're ready. I think they're going to pull it off. Like you said, so many things is going on, so many variables about, I won't call it superstition, but like we said earlier, Saquon, 1,000 yard rusher, 2,000 yard rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Terrell Davis, 2,000 yard rusher. John Elway lost the Super Bowl, came back with a 2,000 yard rusher, won it. Jalen Hurts
Right.
lost the Super Bowl, comes back with a 2,000 yard rusher, can win it.
Well.
Saquon Barkley and Cooper DeJean, birthday is Sunday.
Yes.
Okay. This is Super Bowl 59. You
Yep.
put those two numbers together. What do you get?
59. Seth
59.
Joyner. Seth Joyner.
Absolutely.
59. Oh,
So
here's another tidbit for you. Vince Papale's birthday.
yes,
So,
yes, absolutely. I've seen that
Sunday.
today. Yep. Yep.
Sunday. So,
Yep. So it all depends on how you look at it. There's a lot of things that can point to a victory for the Eagles, but with all of that being said, they still got to go out there and play the game.
right. Exactly.
All right. So you got a couple more words because I got about 2 more minutes where I got to get out of here.
Your prediction, score wise.
I'm hoping 32-24 Eagles.
Really?
I'm hoping.
That's funny. So I'm in the same ballpark.
Okay.
I'm going to say 33-24 Eagles.
Okay. Like I said earlier, we do not want to go in that fourth quarter with 4 minutes left with a 3-point game, even a 7-point game.
Right.
Because we know Patrick he's the equivalent of the Harlem Globetrotters for football.
Great analogy.
He be making all kinds of magic happen out there.
All right. Well, hey,
We just gotta buckle up. We've seen what they've done all year. So why change it now? Why lose now? Go out there
Well,
and get it done.
I guess we're about 46, maybe 46 and a half hours away. But, it's all the hype, all the media is gone now. Like you say, the walkthrough tomorrow, and then it's time to get this party started and this
Yes, sir.
ring that bell for this heavyweight fight.
Absolutely.
Mission 59.
They are dialed in and they are ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, Mike?
Oh, damn straight, I'm ready.
All right. There we go. All right, everybody. This has been At the 50 with Fuji and Fleet with my co-host Mike Fuji. And we are both ready. Are you ready, Delaware Valley? Are you ready,
Eagles
Nation?
Nation.
Go Birds.
Go Birds! Eagles! Eagles!
There you go.
Go
There you
Birds!
go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Have a good night. God bless. Mission 59. Let's go. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 59 champions. Book it. Pay your house. Take out a second mortgage. We're doing this. We're taking this Vince Lombardi right up Broad Street, baby.
There you go, Mike. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Everybody have a good weekend and go Birds.
Go Birds.
Let's go.